It is Labor Day Monday, and that is why I am talking about how the Green Party and Green MLAs have been for the worker unequivocally since the very beginning, the inception of the Green Party in New Brunswick back in 2012. There is a section in the policy manual, Section 7, called Labor, and I just want to read to you the main heading of Section 7.1.3. The Green Party, the Green government would ensure that workers are compensated for their labor at a level that allows them to live in dignity. And there are many bullet points underneath. Yesterday, we talked about hourly rate wages and how from before 2020, the Green Party was advocating for a $15 an hour wage. Now, we are at $15.30 now in 2024, and the Green Party is talking about the difference between a living wage, which recent studies have shown in the Bathurst area is upwards of $20 an hour. That means when you work a full-time job at $20 an hour, you can afford to live. In the cities, it's $22, $23. There has been studies around New Brunswick showing that $15 an hour, $15.30 an hour, is not enough as a minimum wage for a living wage. There is still about a $5 an hour gap, and the Greens want to see that gap closed. But two other things that I want to bring to your attention in today's 5 minutes, so I'm going to be very brief, is a motion brought forward by David Kuhn several years ago and as recently as 2023 that is advocating for 10 paid sick days. So, paid sick leave for workers is extremely important for flexibility, for productivity, a number of reasons. And that is why the current standard of 5 paid sick leave days in New Brunswick, we believe, is not enough. Federally regulated workplaces in Canada are at 10 days of paid sick leave, and that is based on a lot of research. And so I want to show you the motion that David Kuhn brought forward in the legislature, because it's just written way better than I could ever articulate it here. Whereas a significant number of New Brunswickers do not have access to paid sick leave, whereas the pandemic highlighted the importance of paid sick leave in protecting public health, whereas no worker should continue to fear losing their job as a result of getting ill, whereas since instituting paid sick leave, BC reported multiple benefits, including increased productivity, better staff retention, a decline in workplace injuries, and an increase in morale. Be it therefore resolved that the Legislative Assembly urge the government to take immediate action to ensure that all workers in New Brunswick are entitled to a minimum of 10 paid sick days per year. Be it further resolved, this is the last paragraph, that the Legislative Assembly urge the government to create a program, in case you're wondering how this would work, to provide temporary financial support to small and medium-sized businesses to help them cover the costs of providing paid sick leave to their employees. Again, I'm an employer. I have a corporation. I want to overpay my employees. I want them to have a living wage. That is one of my values. That is why I'm running for the Green Party. I would be in full support of this. Small and medium-sized businesses wonder, how would we pay for that? Wouldn't it affect productivity? Again, BC is not seeing that, but the Greens are advocating for the creation of a fund that would provide kind of a ramp to alleviate some of the cost to those businesses for that. So that is one way that the Green Party, out of two, so again, wages, more paid sick leave. And I want to briefly call your attention to something that happened very recently. As of May this year, May 31st, Green MLA Megan Mitten tabled a bill, Bill 48, that would ban the use of replacement workers in the case of a strike. We believe that this allows for good faith bargaining, and of course it is more safe when you have companies, when workers strike, and then you have companies bring in replacement workers to undercut them. Of course, there are things that happen at picket lines, the value of workers is undermined, etc., etc. So this is one way that, again, that was tabled, first reading, May 31st. It is still sitting there. If you go to the legislative website of New Brunswick, you will see Bill 48 sitting there, tabled by Green MLA Megan Mitten. BC has had so-called anti-scab legislation. Of course, scab being kind of the nickname for replacement workers who come in and work for cheap when the main workers go on strike. BC has been banning this for 30 years. Quebec has banned it for 45 years, okay? So this is nothing new, but again, the Greens are always advocating for better wages, better conditions for the worker. And when you understand statistics from economists, like 65, 70% of the economy is driven by household income, we need to pay workers better. We need to make sure that they have better conditions. Yesterday, I talked about how this all got started in the 1870s in Canada with workers fighting for a 9-hour workday and Saturday afternoons off. Here it is, 130, 140 years later, we are still advocating for the worker and for you. So that is kind of what I wanted to talk about on Labor Day weekend. Thank you for that. Tomorrow is the first day of school, so all the best. Hopefully you're enjoying your weekend. And if you have kids or you're a teacher or you're in the education system, tomorrow's a big day. And I do want to talk about that gap that teachers are facing. I'm knocking on doors. When I talk to teachers, they say we need more of everything. And of course, New Brunswick is facing a 500 teacher shortage going into the school year. We need more dedication to giving schools, teachers, the education system what it needs to thrive so our children can thrive in the future.